Good morning, BPL. This is Tele of the Black Pants Legion. Sorry for a slightly late start. I had some technical difficulties. Falkenstein, it's not. It's just me. I'm slowly getting into the swing of things with these independent streams, so you will get bulk and the usual shenanigans on Friday at the usual time. So it's just going to be plain old me having a little bit more of a conversation because, well, as much as I love my girlfriend, that stream is at a time where, as much as I would like to admit, it's playing the Do Not Startle the Witch game. Because it's literally 4 a.m. for me. That means I'm slightly not very talkative. So, yeah, Frozen Hog, yeah, this is probably an atrocious time for most people in the US, and this is reaching prime time for the denizens of place we call Australia and New Zealand and most of Asia probably. So, I was thinking to see what's up. The last time I saw the server was in May. Hopefully it was this year. So, yeah, Falkenstein, that is fair. Yeah, Eurotrash is always awake. I. That is a thing. Yeah, Frozen Hog, like, it depends what sort of schedule you run. I'm one of those people that is very early by, you could say, not by choice, but just by design. I'm usually awake at around 6 a.m. because that's where I can get most things done. And then the rest, if there's any tiredness, I can, do away with coffee and hate. So there is that. Okay, so we do have this thing in some sort of a pickle. Yeah, we do have too many pallets there on the conveyor, so I'm going to use the Kupoda to deal with them and hopefully not hurt myself. Okay, Tom, thank you for the pet. We do have a small beast in the house, so I'm going to give him pets. Unfortunately, I don't have the most important part of a professional stream nowadays, which for guys with a face that only mother can love is pretty much going to be a pet cam. Not to put myself down, but you know, we do joke all the time on the WPPL that the people there are not necessarily for us, but it's their pets because for those of you in the know, Bulk has two cats and then does like yeah, Hasley has two as well, at least. So there is that. I have not seen Squig's face to be honest, but like it is what it is. Like I'm fine with the way I look because the only thing I try to get from this degrading mess that is my body is going to be functionality. So there is that. Okay, uh, fair enough, Falkenstein. I'll take your word for it. Like, God knows we have enough nightmare fuel lately, so I don't have to go specifically looking for things. Yeah, morning, hippocampus. That Tom thing is interesting. Yeah, I think just to say, like, as even though I said that I have seen my share of, uh, you know, interesting things these past 2 years, I might just, sate my curiosity and see what I find. Electrodyne. I'm winning in a way as much as you can in the farming sim. I'm currently seeing how this whole pellet thing works. I worked out a lot of the kinks, pun intended, because this whole thing seems to be for the people that like using atrocious equipment, like that crane you can operate here. This one is supposedly very good at doing stuff, but as you can see, like, even though you can play most of this game with mouse, this one is feeling like I need a controller. And even though you can do all the things with mouse, it's like, combining two controls to one stick and then hoping it sticks. And even though this by surface seems to work, it does not, and it's supposed to have like different tools you can use and blah blah blah, and this thing is supposed to pick up those pallets. No. Just I refuse to use this thing, and I will put it back to the corner where it deserves to be. And as you can see there, Chimera works really well on the tool. You can switch directions, obviously, but you know. Yeah, like, in real life, overhead cranes are, if not fun, they are very, very useful. Like, it's just that, like, I totally get why they do them in real life and not in the Minecraft world, so to speak. But because, like, there's no any sort of feedback on the controls, it is what it is, and you do really need two input devices like you would have on a controller. And I should probably pipe in that thing. There we go. Very professional. So, yeah. No, in real life, like, I have used a couple of them to move, steel piping and stuff like that. So they are very useful for heavy loads. It's just one of those things that you do need to be very mindful and careful with, because even though heavy stuff moves very easily, it's still very heavy stuff. But again, it is what it is. So anyway, I'm going to be back on doing this pellet thing because, well, farming simulators, for those that don't know this game, seem to have a tendency to, keep going at its own pace. But if you don't have crop destruction enabled, you can still, uh, pick up what's left of things. So I'm going to be touching the rest of the grass. I'm still of two minds from this specialized equipment that is making the pellets directly from the ground. Because even though this whole pellet factory thing was a nice expansion that existed in Farming Simulator 19, also I've been told because I didn't play the game, uh, it's constant work you can do, but I would argue that you can spend your money better in this game, even though you can use the two of the other pellet types for the heating plant, which will generate electricity, which is kind of always on demand in this game. But to be fair, not everything that you do in this game needs to be optimized for the what is the easiest crop or easiest thing for the effort, because I'm not sure about you guys that play similar games, but yeah, Frozen Hog, go and check it. Help your dog. Take care. Yeah, real life does have a tendency to happen. So, yeah, again, I'm just here to chill for a couple hours, and I think we have Jin, Tar, and Stu coming. I think they are still playing some the sea, so especially those people that are very close on their late prime time, that's a very good stream to end the day. And I don't want to self-promote too much or self-promote as WPPL, but we do have a fairly decent selection for community TV. So, if my flair of doing things and listening to my long-winded way of talking is not your thing, I'm quite sure you can find someone else to look for. And we do have our usual shenanigans, and I think that we have stuff almost on all time zones. It's just that, if you happen to be Euro trash, there's not necessarily a lot around your prime time. It usually tends to be in the very end of it. So good luck on not feeling that sleep deprivation. Okay, I think for the next time I need to do another pass of wind rowing, so I am picking up more things while I do this, because I'm not sure if the stuff from the ground is degrading, but I'm picking up awfully little on what I used to pick it up as in the previous months. So let's see. I do have another patch of grass ready to harvest, so hell, I think I will actually switch to that, to be completely honest. So we'll see how it goes. So, how is everyone doing? I'm not exactly sure how many people we have around. let's go and look. How many people do we have? Because I'm not sure if I can see my stats from here. Oh, we do have people. Nice. So I'm not a complete talking head. See, there's the detach button. And then I do need to play the game of where are all my tools. There we go. Oh, I can. I cannot use this. Here's the big Valtra. For those of you that are interested, here's the heating plant where you can dump the pellets you make from straw, and also the pellets. No, you can. Sorry, you can type hay, pellets, and wood chips there to make electricity, as I mentioned prior to you. But again, it's that thing over there. Sorry, I'm having a slight trouble with my two brain cells trying to do two things at the same time. Because I'm used to operating slightly smaller vehicles in this game. So it's always wrapping my head around new stuff and talking at the same time. Although I'm getting a weird feeling on the fact that the detached thing was on the right side. Good. So at least we have that going for us. And then I need this. There we go. Anyway, speaking of learning things from this game, if you do happen to play it, one of the immensely useful things is that when you have a lot of tools on your tractor, you can use control plus the function key for the vehicle to do the thing you're doing for all the vehicles. So for example, now I used control plus B to start both of the motors instead of having to switch the device using G. So now you can watch me mowing grass and have PTSD from all the from all the times you need to do that at your own place or at the place of your parents. Because well, it is a lot of work, and those people that have their own places are quite aware of that. Mm, and that is, I say, one thing that it's kind of a small blessing that we have winter, so at least I don't need to mow grass like you know every other week. Although I have to say, winter, especially this year, has not been too kind. We have had a lot of snow here in Finland, so it's been a lot of like, dealing with that. Fortunately, the places where I need to do that, I can mostly use a medium-sized tractor and different attachments to do that. So that is a great deal of help, because one of your standard snow blowers would not be able to deal with something that we have at the moment, and even if it would be an atrocious amount of time, pushing the thing around. And as much as that tool is immensely useful for small properties, it's not something you want to use when you need to deal with like tens of cubic feet of snow. And yeah, as much as it is a standard fare of things to account for those things, many people nowadays haven't had the need. So this year I have definitely seen a lot of surprised Pikachu faces around. What do you mean it snows heavily? What do you mean I cannot use my driveway if I don't have a way to clear it? But things like that are just the way of things. You live and learn. Fortunately, this is such a small country that you still have a capacity to help others. And we do have enough like equipment that can actually, clear those things. Like I've been hearing from people I know from states, and not every state has been as fortunate to have the capacity to deal with heavy snowfall, because it's not something that they have been very prepared for. Because if you get that amount of snow every 10 years, it's well, it is understandable that you don't have all the equipment at the beck of your call for those kind of scenarios. The problem comes when the nearby states don't have those things either, or if they do have them, they are using it themselves. But again, I digress, that's the way of things. For those of you listening on the chat, how is your day so far? Anything you would like to mention? Share a story, or be that old man that yells at a cloud. If not, I would just keep chilling and moving fast for a little bit, and I will sip my coffee, because I do like myself a nice cup of coffee. And by the way, for those people that usually watch farming sim streams, I'm still a total amateur when it comes to this game, so bear with me as I fumble my way through things. Like, ironically, as some of you people know, I have mostly stuck you know, doing my thing on this Elm Creek map. And that forestry thing has been interesting, but I have decided to change it up, and here I am doing stuff in the fields. So, yeah, it is nice change of pace, and I still I wish that the forestry would be slightly better, and I definitely hope that Giants do fix some sections of the physics engine, as much as you can call it that, because it works quite decently for, well, actually most of the things. However, forestry, obviously, because the game is literally called Farming Simulator, uh, it's always going to be one of those hey, here's this one style of gameplay that is kind of a side thing and it's not fully fleshed out. So I get that they don't pay as much notice, even though they have released a wonderful expansion on it. But for those of you that don't use like auto pickup for a lot of the trailers, I tip my proverbial hat for you, because um, loading those lock-in trailers for the semis, those things are just so atrocious to load with the with whether it's the front loader attachment for the tractors, or whether it's using wheel loaders, or whether it's using the proprietary like attachment that some of the trailers have. They just don't work for me, and because you do still have like physical pickup limits in this game. Using the wood chippers is also very, very atrocious. Please don't do that to yourself if you can avoid that. But again, if that's your thing in this game, I'm like, well, that's your choice, I guess. So I do have one other field up in the north, and as you guys probably noticed, that this field is again the type that this used to be forest, from the tree line there to over there, where on the right where the other farm equipment is. And it was fun felling down, and I have decided to start replanting this field in some point. And once I have enough money, which is soon, I will buy that big piece of forest from right over there, and then I will make Lorax sad. But that's again the way I like to play. And if we do actually have an avid like farming simulator player here, there is something I would like to ask. We have been playing this Elm Creek map for quite a while. If someone can suggest a map that has, again, similar variety of things, similar distribution of things, and it's at least 4x, I'm all ears. Because we have basically kept our ear in on the ground. But so far, we haven't been able to find a map that is as versatile as this one. Because the thing comes when you look at this map, there are very like sorry, you have a wide distribution of things, and everyone can sort of do their own thing and have enough space to do it and have enough variety to do their own thing. The trouble is that in some point we have played this map to death. Sasquatch, do not worry, it's not Friday yet. Even though I guess you could say it's nice if it would be Friday for those of us going to the daily grind. Like I'm fortunate enough to be on a paid study leave, so I can do this on Prime Eurotrash time. But no, Sasquatch, you have not lost. You get probably me being awfully more quiet than I'm now, and Ball, Cosplay, and Saiku on Friday. I think we are back on our usual farming sim shenanigans, but don't quote on me on that. Like the the stream 2 weeks ago, we had the Great Penguin Heist, which was a lot of fun, but I was running on fumes. It's been. I can usually attend every second week, though I do some of the volunteering work, and sometimes when the call comes, it's those ungodly hours of the night. And even though I was not supposed to be on standby, when things come calling, you do need to answer at times. But again, like, I'm not complaining too much. That's my chosen thing, and that's how I choose to give back to the community. Because, well, volunteering work is not for everyone, and you like, even though I could do a better job on taking care of myself, it's still one of those things that you really do need to be in a mental and physical condition to help others, especially when it comes to some of the volunteering tasks. Because we do all know that some of the volunteering stuff, depending on from your choice of flair, does not necessarily need a lot of like physical conditioning or have the ability to thrive in hard conditions. It's more in the fact that it will require some mental capabilities, because even though I live in a relatively nice and still somewhat safe country of Finland, unfortunately, you every now and then do see things you would rather not see. But again, that's the way of life. You can only do your best and handle what gets thrown at you and move on. That's the way of things. At least for me. By the way, I'm just looking at the like things that the OBS Studio shows me. Supposedly, I'm not obnoxiously loud because I do talk a fair bit with my monologues. I think I should have things very well dialed in, but if the game sounds not too high or if my voice is too loud, please do let me know because I'm still very much new to this thing. This is actually my second stream independently, so I might miss a thing or two. Or I might be subject to a brain rot and have two of my brain cells in the bundle and I do stuff like that when I try to do many things at the same time. Because like I chose this time also because it's very convenient for me, but also it's the time that like even though I get viewer interaction and it's nice, so thank you guys for that. It's still a time when I don't have the chat going in a way like it's running away from someone or something. So I can not divide my attention too much when I try to keep track of things. Just kind of easing into it. And as my girlfriend is working full time, this is also a very opportune time to do it. Because I just have the. Okay, let's try that again. I do have the only the fur baby to take care of, and I can time most of my studies, even though I do need to attend some things just prior to this and just after this. But again, that's life for you. And I'm finally starting to reach this end of the field. Wait a minute. Let's see if this thing works. It might look atrocious, but let's see if this works. If it does, I might need a smaller wind rover. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. But I just need, I might need a slightly different version of the mower on the back. We'll go and see in a minute. There we go, that was last of the coffee, so I hope that will hit in a minute. So I can go back to overdrive. Because I still have a lot of things to do today. And I would guess that most of you guys in EU have that on the cards as well. And supposedly, like the early East Coast US will start, you know, climbing out of the bed in a couple of hours, or have already done so, depending on what's their schedule like during their day. Also, for those of you that like very neatly done fields, I'm sorry. this this field is atrocious, and I think on many maps you should not make your own, because not only is this terrain more challenging compared to those a lot of fields you have numbered on this map, especially the fields on this map are really nice. There is the fact that you will struggle with terrain, and your AI helpers don't know how to navigate these. They just don't. If you try to put them to work, they will behave like it's their first time driving. And yeah, it's like micromanaging them. And the GPS or the other systems don't work, but to be fair, I have not looked into it too much. Like, I fully admit that I haven't done it, but I trust Bolks and Sayagu's word on it. I don't need to bash my head to a wall too many times to find out something that they have bashed their head to wall for me, because sometimes the best experience is someone else's negative experience, so you can live and learn from it. There we go. That was a slight adjustment, so maybe I'm not leaning in so much now. Oh yeah, yeah. There we go. Now I can stretch my neck. For those of you that work desk jobs, get please get arrangements that work for you. Like I can't stress that enough. I'm switching from somewhat of a physical work to part-time work where I have to work a desk job, and standing desk has been a great blessing because even though you are not using it from the standing position all the time, you can adjust it to your liking, even when you're sitting. And at least for me, that helps greatly to the amount of strain I feel to this decaying temple of mine that I try to keep in some form of things that resembles a tolerable condition. And even though I have some work on that, some things do actually help a fair bit. So find out what works for you and do it. So let's see. Okay, is that a 3-point or... Let's see. Now, where are all my tools? Let's go and see. Oh, that's the cultivator. So most of it should be here. Let's go and see. Okay. Now I know this attaches. And comes this atrocious combination. Okay, so I get the wind power to work like this. Good. Now, if only I could find the tether I'm supposed to have somewhere. Let's see. There we go, it's over here. Oh, I didn't know I have bales here. Okay. I do not know I have bales here. Is this the... Yeah, this is the atrociously big one. Let's try. Let's try how this works. Oh no, god, it's this atrociously big one. I really do need a smaller one for the... to go with the mover next time. Even though I don't mind about realism so much, this thing is going to get stuck on so many things the way I drive. This is just going to get stuck on so many things. And this is the thing in farming sim, like you can do a lot of independent driving, and sometimes, especially for the really big fields, it's a necessity. But if you can just avoid that, especially in the field sizes I'm operating with compared to bulk, for example, I really do think it's better to stick to combination vehicles if your things allow that. So that's the... Yeah. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. And repair the tractor. Just let's refuel over here. Also, for those of you, if you ever consider getting farm equipment, please, when you consider having tanks on site, consider having a high-speed outlet. Otherwise, you are staying there an awful long time. Just waiting for the thing to fill because it's quite obvious, but I say it regardless. Big vehicles do have big fuel tanks. And yeah, I should probably lower the tether for it to work. There we go. Yeah, if you have something like a 400-liter tank, not many vehicles have that big, but some do. You're going to be there an awful long while filling that up unless you have a high-speed pump. I have filled some of the larger tractors with a manual pump with diesel, and yeah, that definitely takes a while. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone unless they like that. Like, I just like using my effort for where it's worth, so to speak. Because, well, like I have a lot of interests, if you haven't figured out by now. Like, I have the volunteering stuff, I have the school. I'm going to be back to part-time work next autumn. And then I have my hobbies. So I pleasure the fact that even though the days are long, all of the parties involved are very accommodating. The less accommodating entity in our household is the fur baby, but that is fine. 5 kills of that and despair is allowed to be picky and is probably spoiled. Like, yeah, I do think that even though that dog has its borders, it's still quite spoiled because it's the first dog for my girlfriend, and like I have had experience with dogs all my life, so I'm very accustomed to some things, but she isn't yet. She was not originally a dog person, but then she was shown the way, so to speak. And now it's now it's a family member. I think that's the easiest way to describe that. But that's how pets are. And that's how they should be for many people. Like, I get the school that does not want to, like, humanize pets, because, you know, they are animals after all. And it's something definitely that you should acknowledge, even with the very smart animal. But that's the but. And now I have that image of that Tom Button smiley in my head. But yeah, it still doesn't mean that those animals cannot be important for you. Oh, and that reminds me, I do need to check if I attach this thing to mower, which is, again, if you play farming sim, please notice the maximum operating speed of the equipment. So I might actually be better off doing this like I am now. And if only I could attach one of the equipment, like if I could um, attach the wind rover to this tether, or yeah, use a smaller tether with high enough speed with the movers, that would actually get me done a lot faster. Because as much as I enjoy playing it, and I enjoy, oh, I didn't watch the left and right. That's my fault right there. Uh, like I am a firm believer that you should um, optimize the things you don't want to do in simulations, and then go however you feel like with the things you fancy or you find a sense of novelty with. Because there is this strange thing that I hope that goes for many of us. We should play games for fun. As you know, as weird that it sounds, because it's like, I'm not sure if I'm alone on this, but I do have a tendency to okay, I use a concrete example. I love a lot of like classical RPGs, and I do think a lot of people do. I haven't touched Baldur's Gate 3 yet, but speaking of like these type of games, if there is any sort of chance for me to optimize something in classical RPGs or turn loot goblin, I'm turning over every nook and cranny for items to sell, for things to optimize, and I I very easily task the fun out of that game, because, well, like I enjoy the loot goblin part, but it does one thing which is quite important if you're operating unlimited time. It tends to stop progress at time, because you know you keep going off tangents, you keep looking how to get this thing early and blah blah blah. So again, like, it's very easy to turn the game into a task list and optimize the fun out of it. Like, I think some people with a lot more of industry knowledge than me have said that, like, gamers are very good at that. I don't necessarily think it goes for everyone, but it's a thing. I do see it, like, in some games where I'm able to, step back and play at my own space. Like, for example, I play old school RuneScape, of all things, during my lectures if I'm not processing brass. And oh boy, is that game like. The old school one is a lot more better than it used to be, but it's still a game that is very grindy, And because people have played it for so long, even if it now has some additional content coming up that the community votes in, well, here's the thing. Um, yeah, there's this XYZ way that is the best. People will keep doing that, and they keep treating that, oh, this is the only way to play the game. No, find your own. Take it at your own pace. But the same advice I'm giving here, which is again, you can follow if you want, and if you don't, then don't. But yeah, the same advice I'm following here, I just struggle to follow with specific games. I'm not sure what it is. Is it is this another dopamine trap I have created myself, or is this something else? I don't know. But it's more of a first world problem, let's face it. Yeah, sorry, I'm running a little bit low on energy. It was a very short night due to the volunteering stuff. But don't worry, I will snatch my sleep by having a nap after this. I just hold my fingers crossed that I don't sleep too long. But we'll see how that goes. Now, let's leave that running. Uh, Yoshi, like, that sounds like a 20-year-old me. Though, fortunately, I feel bad for you. I have had trouble falling asleep when I've been very, very, like, much overwired. But usually it's more in a way that, like, I just sleep less than I should. Not so much getting asleep, getting like going to sleep. But yeah, it is what it is. Like I say this. You can only do so much with coffee and hate. Like I like coffee helps to a point, but after a specific point, uh, you just get you become tired with anxiety, and that's not that's not helpful. And I do wonder at times like what's behind it, but like if I well I totally didn't mean that to happen. Yeah, about that HGHG responding to coffee. Uh, like, I do have this reaction at times, and I wonder, like, I have not never been diagnosed, and I have sort of like, you know, tracked myself through life by functioning enough that, you know, uh, as long as the symbols money inside my head keep uh, hitting those symbols at the steady pace, I've been fine and dandy. Even though at times, like again, why I say I play old school RuneScape or Process Brass during my lectures is purely the fact that for the life of me I cannot keep concentrating uh, for more than maybe 1 hour unless I have something to keep me busy. Like that that's just a way of things. So usually our teachers will pace us, so we will have coffee breaks, we will have um, a lunch hour between like 5 hours of lectures or stuff like that. But every once in a while there's like a guest lecturer and I need to you know keep the attention if I do want to catch most of it. And those times I do really feel the struggle that I need to keep. Again, the simple monkeys in my head hitting with a steady pace. So I have had times where I try to, keep it running with caffeine, uh, vitamin C, and taurine and stuff like that. Basically, a homemade energy drink. Stuka, oh, I'm good to go until 6. I because I kind of I kind of needed to bend over backwards to start early. I do need to get into the swing of things. So there's if you guys are starting at 6, there's going to be 1 hour gap. But yeah, Yoshi, I feel you. As I said, I haven't never been diagnosed with ADHD. I haven't done it, but like I do have that effect for the coffee that if I drink enough of it, I actually become tired. Even though it's tired with slight anxiety, it's still like tired. Obviously, like there's this whole thing with you know um like it to be fair, it might not be that I get the reaction that some people with HDHD get, where um, coffee makes them sleepy. But it for me it just might be the caffeine crash. Even though I'm drinking a lot less of coffee I used to drink, because God knows those late night bouncer shifts. Uh, like I don't I don't want to know how much coffee I consumed, because it was a full. For those people that do feel the coffee, it was usually at least a full pan a day. And even though it's not unhealthy per se, when you consume that in atrocious times, that thing is like a death sentence to your sleep quality. Do I have to say that again? I come from a family that is somewhat workaholic. We tend to naturally sleep less, and because my mother's a nurse and still is for a couple of years before retiring. When she comes home from evening shift, uh, like yeah, my if I'm there, I'm having that evening coffee with them. If I'm not, they are still having that evening coffee. So they drink their last cup of coffee around 10 p.m. and then go to sleep in 2 hours, and you know then have their first cup of the morning, when my mother is going to work in the morning at uh, they wake up at 6 and have their first cup almost immediately. So like I'm I'm not sure how good of an example I've been shown in a way that I've been grown up. But once I'm here, sorry, I usually have my like I'm usually operating on 2 big cups of coffee a day. Yes, Tuka, like that sounds familiar, and all I can say is that if you do consume coffee, like I really do think it needs to be if you can manage that in the middle of the day. So again, I have my first cup 2 hours from waking up, and then I have my second big cup after lunch. Yoshi, when it comes to that, yeah, like the 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 old generation, uh, even if we are talking, and this is like again, this is not medical advice. This is not anything like that. This is just again anecdotes. Yeah, I know it's in the family, even though it's in the very high function end of spectrum. But because those things were treated differently at the time, or they were not treated at all, uh, yeah, some things do make a sense. Yeah, and like and it's like it's again, as much as like Finnish people being introverts is a meme. Um, it it is still a thing. Like I think, despite all the trappings of modern life, if you come from a small country, or can live in a environment where, well, that is more calming, that you maybe need to deal with small amount of people at a time, especially when you are uh, like more of the introverted type, whether that's from personal preference or whether that's from the things on the spectrum. Well, it really, really, really does help when you know you can have some peace and quiet, and you can have a country that is overall very uh, tranquil. Like even the capital, despite it being noisy in the level how I gauge things, uh, our capital is about 1 million people. But still, when I've come from some of the biggest cities in the world, and I have gotten out of the plane to Helsinki airport, and I've gone, why the fuck is it so quiet? And it's been, oh, yeah, I'm back. I'm back in a country that is more. Yeah, Yoshi, that is fair. Like, I do think it's a fair assessment. And even if there is a background noise, like even at the home, So what I call home is our forestry estate in the small town. Even there's the highway running maybe like half a mile from where the house is, and it's one of the primary highways of the country. It's still like something that like it's just that noise is nothing even remotely close to what you would get living in a big city. Oh yeah, Yoshi. Like I totally get it. Like I have friends visiting from like all over the world every now and then. Like I had a friend coming from like Australia that lives in Sydney like a couple months ago, and um, they were very much behaving in a way like, where is all my background noise? Why do I hear, the fridge in the house and so forth? So yeah, but it's not, again, it's not a bad thing to have, because modern life can be so noisy at times. Like, it is what it is, but again, if you can like change some life arrangement when it comes to that, it helps immensely when you don't have that extra noise pollution. And I fully understand that you can always change where you live, but there are times, even with people around you, that those noise cancelling headphones are a blessing. If you can use them. Uh, just a gentle reminder that if you are using noise cancelling headphones, please remembering that it does not uh, mute the world, so to speak, for everyone else. So even if you decide to, you know, let out a fart, other people can still hear it. If you are trying to rip a new hole to your trousers, or if you have noise cancelling headphones on and speak, uh, yeah, other people can hear it. Yeah, King Hearts. Yeah, well, you can take that approach that like you can make something and everyone's problem. Sure. Well, let me put it this way: if you are working and it's an environment where you can just be comfortable ruling one out, uh, yeah, go ahead. Like that's a, that's all I can say. That's all I can say. But I like I think even being slightly loud with your noise cancelling headphones, like it's still a far better alternative than something you don't see so much in this country, unless it's a specific type of people, but something that is immediate, like it's frowned upon and has a social stigma attached to it, is that people talk to their phones while they have the other person on the speaker on a public transit. Here, that stuff is you will get very very long look, and if you're loud enough, someone might actually say something. So I do see it in other countries, and for me, and maybe this is like an old man. I'm 35, turning 36 this year, so not that old, but you know, the point stand. It might be one of my old man is yelling at the cloud things. Um, but I really do not like when people talk to their phones and the other person is on the speaker. Yes, Suka. Yeah, it's that it's going past the midpoint towards 40. Oh, Yoshi, that's the thing. Like I like, and I I get it, kind of from the time where some phones were not as decent as most of the phones are nowadays. Um, but yeah, it's like there are things to do if the other person is not hearing you. Okay, Stuka, yeah, yeah, I can get behind that. like, I haven't yet decided what my crisis is going to be. Like, and hippocampus, I can say that can totally be a hearing problem. Like I know it from a personal experience in a way that one of the people I used to date before my current girlfriend um, had a very one-sided hearing problem due to her hobbies, just ruining the hearing from one side, and she did not want to admit that, but it was immediately obvious. Like, I, 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 she did not appreciate the joke, but I pointed it out by basically always talking from her good side, and she did not admit to it until I demonstrated for her, because I told the exact thing. Like I told her very short praise from like both sides, and then she finally realized that she can barely hear it from the other. Oh, we are being raided. brace for impact. Thank you for Alaric Kerensky for the raid. Yeah, like King Cast, like that was the that, that was pretty much a reply. Like that was pretty much the reply I got initially, and it was very obvious when when we shared the bed and I was on the bad side. It was very very obvious. Oh, it's it's. But I like even though we parted ways peacefully, like I'm still quite glad that she got it fixed. Yeah, hippocampus. That that is pretty much it. I think, like, we have gotten beyond the point that we have Tom's thoughts pretty much for any occasion. At least I would think so. I, Stuka, I think on this point I can say that, like, if you want to, yeah, repel Kerensky here, well, I think we can just play, Tom's thoughts as a playlist. I think there's enough of them to fill several minutes of fully automatic thoughts. Yeah, we shall we shall fight on the planet Ligma with balls. And I'm not sure how many times do I want to repeat that. But it's good to see the Battletech crowd staring in the chat. And it's something that, like, that is, at least for me, it's an interest that keeps on giving. Like, I've been slowly getting into Mechamech, and as much as I like Battletech Advanced, it is still, when you can go, like, a step or two further, it's nice. And those of you here that have not tried Mechamech, you really should. You really should. Like, as much as you can, like, I can understand that people want to stick to more, like, visual games and stick to something that is not as heavily, like, tabletop. I don't think there are a lot of, like, game developers and publishers nowadays that can make more graphical games or more visually stunning games with that amount of content and just pure immersion. that some of the systems can provide. Yeah, Stuka, I agree. Megamech is a lot of text. It's like it's still like something that I think in a lot of ways it's like Dwarf Fortress. That even though you have the graphical update, um, a lot of the things people like is happening in a lot of you get the full view of things from the windows and reading what happens. But again, I think it's one of the more comprehensive ways to portray the whole battle tabletop. I don't think anything else currently done to be played comes anything close. Apart from the real thing, but locally I don't have the stars don't align me for me to do that. Because I suppose we have people playing it in here, but let's face it, the definition of city that I live in is 120,000 people, which is maybe like um, like maybe 150,000 if you take all the surrounding suburbs and economical area, which by size comparison is probably a size of uh, some of the larger towns for a lot of countries and not an actual city. So there are definitely people playing, and we do have we have our flair of local game store. But yeah, just to comment Kerensky, yeah, obviously it's not so different, but there is still a thing to be said, like when you can sit on the same table with friends and foes alike and play that game. Like there is just that extra layer when everything's occurring in the meat space. But again, I still think Megamech is one of the better substitutes when it comes to this stuff. Because, like, hold on. Old TGC. Like, depending on Yoshi what year that was made, um, I'm not sure how old I was because even though I'm not the youngest, I'm definitely not the oldest. Okay, yeah, yeah. I just yeah, I know that the collectible card game exists. I just have never played and hardly never seen it being played. I heard some of the Legionnaires talking about it, as Stuka is now talking there in the chat. Yeah, I was 8 years at the time when it came out, and like a lot of that stuff didn't carry over here to Finland. Yeah, that sounds like a nice option. I I hope that something like that would get uh, popular again. But like I'm so outside like actually like physical gaming space that would something like if they would make a remake of the collectible card game, uh, would it actually thrive in the current world? Because well, there is the big elephant in the room you need to defeat when it comes to collectible card games, and it's Magic. Yoshi, I think that's a fair assessment. Like yeah, yeah, it's and and as much as I like that, some games like have gotten more popular, like tabletop and tabletop RPGs. Just to answer a scene fed, if you mean the traveler when there's CJ and the bunch and those people you mentioned, I think that's now running at 10 episodes. You can find it from the WPPL podcasts. It's not on YouTube. It's on the well, it's on all of the podcasting options we have. So if you just search WPPL podcast, you should find it. Yeah, like I'm not sure. Apparently, I know it's in a lot of places. Like the podcast is on Spotify, and in a lot of other places. I'm not sure what will happen because Google Podcast is stopping as a platform in some point of this year. So I'm not sure if that option is going to have a replacement, but those things will be available. And I have only listened to I think two of the episodes, but yeah, it's great fun so far. Like it seems like generally like good playthrough and generally good way to play the game. Yeah, I'm yeah, just to answer the King cause I'm not sure like if they are directly transferring the content to YouTube Music or what's the thing going to be with that platform. Like I haven't kept track, but I think there will be a replacement of some form. But yeah, getting back to the collectible card stuff, like as much as like some of the tabletop stuff have gotten popular, and I'm really happy to see it. Saying that like this popularity hasn't brought its own share of woes would be an understatement. But I'm still of the fact that as long as you keep enjoying the game and you foster a kind of community with the type of people you want to play, it's all golden, and you will keep rocking. Yeah, and King Cards, just to uh, comment on the platform change. Like uh, I'm of two minds of a lot of stuff, because sure, like I can understand that you can only offer so much for free. Like that's that's a given. However, at the same time, it feels that some platforms are being monetized to death by all the parties involved. I really need to say that when you listen to like so, like not to put us again to a pedestal, but there's a really stark difference when I listen to some people I used to watch in YouTube, seeing and this is without like ad block. Like I just take my phone and go to the normal like YouTube app and watch some of the people I used to watch, and there's even though they keep their ads to the minimum, there's their own sponsorships, and then there's YouTube ads. And even if I could, obviously people's contents does change, and that's just the way of things. But their content is very different. So instead of like a genuine product, uh, yeah, it's going to be they make their content differently. They have a lot of sponsorships, and then YouTube has a lot of unskippable full length ads. So the amount of stuff you would get uh, is a lot more smaller than it used to be. But that is the way of the things at the moment, and as much as I would like to see alternative ways, YouTube is still way too big. For now, we'll see how it goes. And it's I think we have had enough talk of the algorithm and stuff in regards to that. But again, yeah, and well, as and it's I think with the sense of like YouTube, I think like like it would have been nice that like uh like it like again, I think what grinds my old man gears is the fact that it has gone from, you know, the very okay, you get you know, you get an ad every now and then, uh please think of subscribing, blah blah blah, to do the very very extreme, and it tends to be like nowadays. And it's yeah, King Cost, that's the thing, like, and it's and I and it's also like, but this is the conundrum here. Like, I fully understand that businesses do need to get their share of money. Like, after all, you are doing it for a profit. It's understandable to a degree. Also, if you like, and sometimes you cannot support people that you like watching. Again, that's just the way it is. But like, it is relatively like like it is relatively atrocious how much ads they throw in at stuff nowadays. Yeah, I'm just sorry, I'm being a little bit slow poke with the chat, but yeah. Yeah, and like, yeah, like some people have said it's television 2.0, and it's not completely wrong. Like, it's not, it's it's not completely wrong to state that. And like the same thing, like we have basically talked with my parents, like because they they are still of a generation that likes hanging around TV, and what they say, it's always been their background noise, so they are kind of used to it. But it's definitely like something that they have noticed that when something actually comes and they like want to watch it, so it's not something like basically playing as a background noise, as they said. It's still that they find it very frustrating, because even the TV ads have changed and have become more annoying and attention grabbing when the times have passed. But again, that is just the way of things. Like, I'm not going to be a proponent of anything when it comes to this, especially on the stream. I still try to behave like a good boy. But anyway, we are starting to close in to the end of the stream. Um, so, thank you guys for coming and staying. Thank you for the raiders that are still here. It was nice to get some interaction, to get into the swing of things. And next, you guys are going to have Stuka. And I'm just going to be, yeah, winding out. from here, we'll see how next week goes and how the stars align, depending on how Xinta and Stuka do their next week. I'm going to be here on my more usual 4 to 6 a.m. EST slot. And yeah, definitely like have a look at what Stuka is doing in the Old World Blues. It's an interesting mod for House of Iron 4. And those are the people that don't know, um, it's it's basically a Fallout mod for House of Iron 4, based around the time which is the point where Fallout New Vegas happens, if I have my things in order when it comes to that. But anyways, I'm going to give you this magical screen in the mission starting end screen. And you guys have a good one and take care.